Slavery existed before us. Slavery existed across the world. But what they built here had a different name. And the receipts are written in the soil. Slavery in Rome let a slave own a name. Slavery in Greece let the children stay the same. Free after a generation, that was the world's frame. Could Mary, could testify, that was the world's claim. But chattel, that word, that's the system built here. Property by birth, by mother every year. Part the sequitur ventrum, Latin for the chain. Born to a black woman, born a slave again. Racist off the marker, that's the chattel decree. No path to manumission, no way to be free. You weren't a debtor in time, you weren't a captive at war. You were livestock by law, that was the chattel core. Bought, sold, willed, mortgaged like a horse or a cow. Until 1865, the only chain to lose now. Stolen names, American soil.
We were brought here, we were broken, we were boiled in the cauldron of a country that we built with our hands.
Diaspora, dollar, made indigenous to these lands.
Stolen names,
American soil.
the receipts in the records in the soil.
The history they bury,
We are pulling it back.
this is the receipt,
And we taking the track.
12.5 million Africans embarked from shore. 10.7 disembarked, that's the count of the war. 1.8 million dead in the Middle Passage swell. 14.5%, that's the documented hell. Design 1781 on the open sea. 122 living souls, the captain's decree. Disease wouldn't pay on the insurance line, but loss at sea was covered, so we threw them at the branching for days to a body that had stopped his breath below deck in the hold. The dysentery to death, men and women separated, children torn from kin. Some jumped into the ocean, chose drowning over chain. Wilberforce taught it more misery condensed than any other place in human history since.
They taught you cotton, they taught you the cane. They taught you the field hand, the master, the chain. But the plantations were many and the truth runs more. Tobacco built Virginia, that was the original score. Rice in the low country, indigo on the coast. Hemp in old Kentucky, the lesser known host. Mixed crop plantations were the most common ground, but the one they never taught, that's the one I found.
After 1808, when the international trade was banned by the Constitution, the domestic was made. Virginia and Maryland built the slave rearing farm, a breeding plantation.
Read it without alarm.
Olmsted, 1861, on the printed page wrote the breeding of Negroes was the planters' rage, like horses and like mules. Those are his words, not mine. That's the first-hand source. That's the documented line.
Lumpkins jail in Richmond, 12-foot fence with the spikes, and the 20,000 exported every month from the strife.
Did you know the Richmond port shipped people every day?
Down to Mississippi, down to Louisiana way.
Did you know the export was the state's biggest crop?
Not tobacco, not the leaf, it was families on the block.
Did you know the breeding farms had compounds and a fence? Iron spikes on 12-foot walls.
That ain't even past tense.
Did you know they didn't farm the land alone? They farmed the people too.
In the records have it shown.
Lynching, 6,500 documented dead. 1865 to 1950 by the EJ. I spread Equal Justice Initiative did the count, did the work. Thousands more were never documented in the murk. Souvenir postcards mailed through the U.S. postal mail. Children at the lynching, white children watching pale. Photographs sold for $1, a quarter, a dime. That's how the records grew and that's how they hide the crime. For every name on the marker that EJ I raised, 3 more in unmarked graves where the family stayed. The records were burned, the sentences didn't act. Surnames given by the master, that's the master. That's why I can't trace my line beyond the shadow cast. I can name the plantation, I can name the state. I cannot name the village or the African gate. Stolen name, American soil.
we were brought here, we were broken, we were boiled in the cauldron of a country that we built with our hands.
Diaspora, dollar,
Made indigenous to these lands. Stolen name,
American soil.
the receipts in the records in the soil.
This was the receipt, now the verdict is due.
Part 2 coming.
The framework breaks through.